Again, I do have to admit that to some degree he's certainly right. I mean, us suddenly just magically finding a solution to an engineering problem we have literally no idea about is probably very unlikely. But then again, you never know.
I assure you that won't be necessary. Now, about your troubles with the ether burner.
Aye, I'll walk you through it. Suppose I could do with a change of pace.
I really like the voice they chose.
As
It's
the
really
name
cool.
ought to tell you, the ether burner burns ether, ambient or otherwise, and transforms it into motive force. Think of it like a giant bomb that never stops exploding.
Yeah.
Even out in that black void where the ether's right sparse, it's strong enough to move our arc. And it probably won't kill you like an actual bomb.
Probably.
But it ain't perfect. According to my calculations, to travel to the moon and back fast enough for the forum's liking, the conversion rate needs to be 6% more efficient. A measly 6%, you say? But if I could have squeezed even another 0.6 out of it, don't you think I'd have built it that way in the first place?
Alright, calm down. We're here to help.
Hast thou consulted with the Loperites? Yes, they too are conducting their own research, for lack of a ready answer. The moon's propulsion systems are considerable, naturally, yet they are commensurately massive. It is no easy feat to convert their technology into an efficient means of propulsion for a teeny tiny toy boat, as they say, and as I most certainly do not.
Yes, exactly! Damn it all, I asked for refined adamantite and they send me uppity rabbits with inscrutable, ancient, incompatible technology! You're trying to drive me mad!
Do you speak of Allegan refined adamantite, perchance?
Oh. Graha might be able to help?
You know of it?
Only in the most general terms, I'm afraid. 'Twas an alloy of Allegan make, but the secrets of its production were closely guarded. As I recall, the record stated it was vital to Dalamud's construction and launch.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, couldn't we use... I mean, to a degree, we do know how to operate elegant technology, correct? They've built spaceships. Couldn't we try to, I guess, use the same ones? In a way?
Aye, that's the stuff. No material more conductive far as I know. Slotting some ends like blowing up a dam and watching the river of ether come rushing through. Ain't a living soul that knows how to make it, though.
You know,
We were fortunate enough to salvage some for the ether burner, just a wee bit, mind, from a chunk of Dalamud that came hurtling into the northern empty during the calamity. With more, well, that extra 6% efficiency would be child's play. It's a crying shame that we've no other sources.
is that so?
Surely the many shards of Dalamud scattered throughout Eorzea would suffice. Why not get the refined adamantite from them?
Oh, we tried, believe you me. But only a few specialised pieces would have had any in them to begin with. Drive calls from Ragnarok-class internment hulks. Those are the prize bits we really need. But according to the Gleaners, getting to them means delving deep into the shards. And the defences are still very operational and very eager to blow them up. It's rough going in there, even for the Cream. Not sure they'd make it out alive.
Weren't we near that part of the Ragnarok when we went to destroy Bahamut?
I wonder how this cutscene plays if you haven't actually done that. But yeah. Technically, we've been quite far down there. The what's it? That sounds like a job. You want me to go and fetch the what's it?
That may be for the best, though you doubtless find the task too dull for your liking.
I mean, probably more interesting than most of the tasks that I've been tasked with, you know, in...
There are multiple internment hulks in Eorzea alone, so handling this ourselves may not be the most efficient option. Rather, if we could salvage adamantite from the shards simultaneously... Thancred, is the link shell we established before you went to Garlemald still active?
Of course. The floor is yours.
Wait. Are we activating the whole bloody
What's all
contingent?
this? Gathering firewood, so to speak. We alone can accomplish little, but joined by others, we may yet build a bonfire to carry us heavensward.
Ooh, great callback.
This is Alphino. The Scions have need of you.
Understood. I will contact the Lord Commander and dispatch our finest at once.
My sisters are somewhat preoccupied with the final days, so I will lead the 12-Sword expedition myself.
So we're literally activating the whole realm to fucking fetch these scraps of metal or whatever they are.
Are you aware of any other sources of refined adamantite?
Like the Crystal Tower, perhaps?
Logically, such an invaluable alloy would have been utilized solely where absolutely necessary, in components intended to conduct or collect surpassing amounts of ether.
Like the Crystal Tower, perhaps, although then again that's
Any extant
literally made out of
instrumentation or
crystal.
devices would have likely found their way into the hands of etherologists, or enthusiasts.
Magical artifacts of Allagan design? The Eastern Alliance will send word to one and all. Are there other ways we may offer aid? No shards of the Lesser Moon scar our soil, but our stake in this cause is no less for it.
I mean, they still have Allagan ruins and the burn. I mean, they literally constructed Azizlar out of it, right?
Is there anything in Othard that might be of use to you?
What did you say? Oh, you got friends in far places, lad. Anyway, if you're offering, I wouldn't say no to one of those Far Eastern sacred relics. Some of them can hold enough ether to summon a whole damn primer. Combine a source like that with the ether burner, and 3, 2, 1, kaboom!
I gather you heard his explosive enthusiasm. Might you secure us a suitable relic?
It shall be done. I know little of machines, but I promise we will do our utmost to gather the materials you need to finish your starship.
Finally, we're actually using all of the resources at our disposal to accomplish
I am
something
glad for the
without
work,
having
in
to do that
truth.
ourselves.
Better to busy oneself than wait and fret over disasters foretold.
Then why are we all still standing about yapping? There's plunder for the taking, and I'm a born plunderer. I'll be an old Charlian before you know it. Start mixing the grog.
I'm certain that can be arranged. Thank you all, and do be careful.
Just like that.
Aye, just like that. Our refined adamantite is on its way. Now let us consider our next steps, shall we? There's yet much to be done.
If only they had asked us in the first place. I think there's the father quite proud of his child, and still doesn't want to admit it. Well, I mean, it seems to have solved this problem fairly quickly. Appreciate you doing all this, but I ain't getting my hopes up just yet. There are no oaths or contracts binding the members of the Ilsabard contingent, and in many ways it was even more loosely organized than the Crystal Braves. Nevertheless, I knew none would refuse this call to arms. Truly, we have been blessed with trustworthy and dependable allies. Time and time again, it seems that Allagan something or other are either the cause of or the solution to our problems. To think the self-same materials that once launched Dalamud will now be used to help ferry mankind to the moon. There's a poetry in that. I'm confident that even the deadliest of Allagan defense mechanisms are no match for our allies. At this rate, some of them might soon have as many accomplishments to their names as a certain warrior of light. Yeah, well, I mean, there's still somewhat more to be done, right? Considering how much of a fuss he made at the time, I don't see why he takes every opportunity to bring it up. It was just firewood. I didn't even catch that reference, but yeah. Wait, did he say that in the same sentence as he mentioned Heavensward? Maybe. What serendipitous irony that the remnants of the Seventh Umbral Calamity would become the keys to mankind's salvation. Never more certain have I been that Master Luzoir watcheth over us from the ethereal sea. First the Chilofroy, and now the final days. No one can accuse the Ilsabard contingent of backing down from a challenge. Of course, they weren't all too committed to the cause when we first set out. But after seeing the example set by you, Alphino, and the others, the change was palpable. I couldn't help but believe. Though Bahamut is long gone, the internment hulks are far from safe. It could be much worse, of course. They won't have to fight their way past Mericidian dragons, nor is there any danger the Elder Primal might be summoned again. Even so, I dare say there are still a fair few Allagan creations and contraptions remaining to bar our friends' way. I only hope the grandfather watches over them. It's times like these we're reminded of how famous, or infamous, Alphino has become. Who would have thought he could achieve so much with a single link pearl conversation? As we're expecting rather a lot of visitors in the near future, I'd best return to the surface and inform the relevant parties. I also have a contact of my own that might be worth a try. Oh, and who might that be? That's for me to know and you to find out. What? And on that note, I leave matters here in your capable hands. Best of luck. What's Kryl talking about? Meanwhile in Uldar? What's going on there?
Our course of action is clear. We must harvest refined adamantite from the shards of Dalamud and procure arcane relics of Allagan make. Summon the best and brightest of our immortal flames and form an expeditionary party at once. Call upon the Sultan Sworn and Brass Blades for support as you must. Papashan, send word to the guilds. We will require the expertise of master artisans if we are to have any hope of identifying and recovering these elusive materials.
What is this music?
Guys, we have need of your stone torches. They are to assist the immortal flames in scouring the ruins and to help secure the surrounding areas. I trust I can count on your support.
As commander of the Stone Torches, My son Zimberg will personally see it done.
I really, really love how they've brought everyone back in, right? Literally everyone, even the guild masters of the like crafting guilds and stuff. Everybody's just part of this.
Pippin, I would have you lead the raiding party. Assemble your finest, and with Tizona's blade, clear the way. Lord Lolorito, I pray you take charge of the search for Allagan relics. Surely you know of some being traded on open or clandestine markets, or sleeping in collectors' vaults.
I didn't realize that it was the start to this fucking song! Wait, this is from... Is this turn 1? Or turn, like, 2 or 3 or something? Or did they all have the same one? That is so cool! Like, they bring back these songs, right? From those raids back then? Such a... Oh, this is incredible. This is really... Endwalker is almost like a best of Final Fantasy XIV, right? But not in the way that they've just sort of put everything together, but they've actually, you know, put in an actual story as well. This is incredible.
Of course, I ask not that you do this out of the kindness of your heart. By all means, profit on the transactions. I wish you the joy of it. The final days descend upon our world. If circumstances are truly as dire as they say, Uldar's best efforts may be for naught. And yet, when we Eorzeans rose from the ashes to rebuild our broken realm, did we not learn one simple truth? That which seems all but impossible to overcome alone may yet be possible if we stand together. It was the Scions who united us then, and it is the Scions who call upon us now. Uldar will answer that call. We will summon our courage and join the fight for our world's future. You know your duties. I, Nanamo Ulnamo, 17th in the line of Ul, bid you good luck and Godspeed.
God, the music is so fitting for the scene. This is incredible. And Black Shout. Are we going through everything? And seeing what they are all doing?
We fielded a goodly number, but our ranks are heavy with healers, and an abundance of restorative magics will be of little help in destroying Dalamud's defenses. Still, it has ever been thus with Gridania. We must steel ourselves for a protracted engagement.
Hi there.
In that case, might I suggest taking us along?
Commander Hex.
Nago is here as well.
What are you doing here?
None of the shards in Girabania are big enough to hold an internment hulk. So we said to ourselves, why not lend our neighbors a hand? We thought you might be short on people with a talent for breaking things.
While it pains me to admit it, you are right. Our deficiency so plain to see.
It might have been a lifetime ago, but I was once one of the Scions assigned to the Shroud. I know this forest well. I know your people. And I know we will be stronger if we fight this fight together.
Is this... This must be from like turn... some of the later turns, right? The music?
Then I will impose upon you with a clear conscience. Come, let us speak of how to integrate our forces.
I won't let it all be for nothing. I promise you, Papalimo.
God, they made such a good choice with putting the turns music in there. Holy shit. And you suddenly realize how great that freaking music is as well. You only ever hear it in, well, the turns, obviously, but you're fighting and, you know, all kinds are going on.
There you are! We've no time to waste, brother. Everyone has already... Ah.
Aww. God, it's so fitting with the music. It gives you chills. And then with this scene...
That was a roar. A dragon's roar.
I have a feeling we'll get more aid. So it's already starting, right? Finally, everyone's coming together for this one single thing that we all need to achieve.
And so, in summation, the Eastern Alliance, as well as the Honourable Lord Lolorito himself, reached out to me for assistance in procuring these treasures of the divine, and I, in turn, do beseech the Confederacy for aid. Is that...
Hancock? What a surprise this is. And a fortuitous one at that. I have a favor to ask, you see.
Hello there. And now, effortlessly blending into the Endwalker music. God, this is such a cool thing, right? And now we have this music in the background. God, I can't wait to hear the full track. It's gonna be... I don't even want to know how epic it is. And we're not even level 89, it's still 88. No job too small. Though our friends are searching for refined adamantite and sacred relics, we will only know if they meet your requirements once they have arrived. In the meantime, is there aught else we might do to be of service? Ha! We've already done more than enough. If I had to say, though, I could choose someone who knows a thing or two about elegant technology. You there, the lad with the red eyes and matching hair, you seem to know more than the average scholar. Yeah, I mean, he's lived in there for like a century. If only Master Coco knew how right he was. While he and Graha establish a rapport, why don't we help with preparations for the Great Exodus? Indeed, this would mean going above and beyond the terms of our arrangement, but I propose this not to curry favor. As confident as I am that we will succeed, we must be ready for every eventuality. This would also be an opportunity to familiarize ourselves with the logistics of traversing the Great Expanse. And, if nothing else, it beats twiddling our thumbs while we wait for the adamantite. Yeah, I mean, either way, we need this spaceship, right? Well, ain't you a bunch of helpful buggers? If you've a mind to lend a hand, I know where you ought go. Charlene Hamlet is lousy with researchers and scholarly types busying themselves preparing for the Exodus. Pah! They'll not need all the help they can get. Well then, off we go. This is very similar to when you construct a large, well, not large, but incredibly huge talus in Shadowbringers, right? Sort of feels very similar. I'll admit, without refined adamantite, I ain't got a bloody clue how else I could get the Aetherburner performing any better. If you lot don't come up with the goods, we're buggered. I shall endeavor to provide Master Coco with whatever information he should require. Where do we go? Now we have this epic music. I should probably get that. This part of the song always reminds me of the Endwalker trailer. The respite afforded this land was but fleeting. To the west. Oh, there it is. Wings of fall. Dun, 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 dun. I wonder when it will play in full. To the west, huh? Bum ba dum bum ba ba da bum bum. This is interesting, to say the least. We're running through this area for the second time now, going back, and there's not really anything to do here, seemingly. But there's probably going to be a couple of side quests here. And also maybe some preparation for the main quest. Or whatever we're doing. So now we go into the opposite direction. It's also interesting. I already got this wind ether current, right? Still missing 3 quest ones though. And 3 normal ones. Where the hell is Alice? Oh, there they are. Ooh, this area actually looks cool. What is this? Charlie and Hamlet. Or maybe these are the working quarters? Could be it, right? Because they're not allowed, like they're confined within this area, right? Is what they said. They're not allowed to venture out of this place. In order to protect the secrets of the Central Circuit, the researchers must navigate a bewildering maze of paperwork before they are permitted to return to the surface. I suppose it's no different than any other aspect of Sharlayan society. We do love our bureaucracy. It's very much a mirror of the city above, which is perhaps how it came to be called Sharlayan Hamlet. What a quaint little settlement this is. A shame it is hidden underground. I don't mind a bit of heavy lifting, but I draw the line at paperwork. So much as wave a sheaf of documents at me and I'll put my lens through it. I want to see that. As surprised as I was to learn the foreign plan to send everyone to the moon, I can't imagine how the common folk must feel about it. Do my senses deceive me? In the shadow of yon corner. One can but hope this leadeth not to mischievous undertakings. Wait, what? Oh, by the way, is the barrier here deactivated? Oh, that's just a chocobo keep. What kind of corner are you talking about, Oriange? Ooh, right. This is where the other Aetheryte is. Of course, I should have known. So this is probably where there's going to be other quests. Since all the researchers are here. From what I can tell, a lot of the people actually live down here. I don't know how much help we can offer, but I dare say they'll benefit from some of that fresh inspiration Scholar Monteshane mentioned. Let's start by asking around, ideally without getting in anyone's way. Let's meet by the Aetheryte once our work is done. Well, at least everybody's helping. Steady Current is... what? That's your name? Helping with the Ark. Even with all the power Master Cockles managed to squeeze out of the Ether Burner, it's still not enough apparently. And now I hear the final days have arrived. Horrible creatures running rampant all over. If only we'd begun the exodus sooner. People are dying and there'll be no end to it if we don't fulfill our duties. But we will. We've spent years of preparing for this moment. Believe in the plan, and all will be well. Wait, I thought we were supposed to help them. Is there an ether current here? No. There is a wind ether current quest, however. Abyssidal tendencies. What luck! You're just the gallant sort I was in search of. You see, I've whipped up an experimental new tincture, one that brings low a certain type of fiend. I had hoped a brave adventurer might test its efficacy for me in the field, and since you are here, perhaps you could fill that role? Good. Now then, about the solution of mine. With the help of some gleaners, I've crafted a concoction that can incinerate even the hardest of seedkin's casings, allowing one to make quick work of the beasts, or so my hypothesis goes anyway. Yeah, I think I've been playing for a while today. Alas, my genius remains untested and thus unproven, which is where you come in. One so well versed in the ways of war should have no trouble at all verifying the tincture's efficacy, I should think. Based on the information I have ascertained, an oversized Brickanon can be found wandering about to the west of Logisticon Beta. Douse that sadistic seedkin in my newest nostrum and bash it into a bloody pulp for me, would you? That is my precise speciality. Oh, hello. Are you one of the new helpers? Indeed I am. Working on the ether burner. Oh dear, I heard things have come to a standstill on that front. Even so, I choose that over my current duties, checking and loading samples day in, day out. It's tiring, thankless work. Still, No one will be cross if I misplace a few legumes or what have you. Legumes? The Forum's good enough on their plate as it is, what with deciding who gets to board the Ark and when. A lot of powerful people have opinions about that. My heart goes out to Master Foshino and the others. I hardly get a moment's rest, I expect. Do they even have time to sleep? Or I suspect not. I mean, you know, at first I thought this must be pretty bad to be confined in here, but I mean, this looks quite good. Happily ever after. Great. And my control is actually empty. Let's switch to another one. Right. I wouldn't have thought that the controller would actually lose its power, but yeah, I should plug. Didn't I plug it in when I went for lunch? I must have forgotten. Heavens forfend, to think this would happen in my kitchen. The nerve! Oh, you there, yes, you. You have the look of a man who knows what he's about, and I'm in desperate need of one such as you. Picked myself a bushel of Mariel agronomics apples, but would you know some nasty mandragora swiped those red beauties from under my nose. Not sure how they got in here in the first place, but that's beside the point. I could well try to steal them back myself, but goodness knows how many hours it'd be before I stumbled upon that blasted bandit. I'm only one man. I can't cover all that ground by myself, so be a friend and help me get my apples back, won't you? Aren't you a woman? Well, never mind. I just knew you'd oblige me. Now then, let's talk strategy. I'll scour the area just south of here, so you take the north. Deal? Mandragoras bury themselves in the dirt to hide, so if you see one of their bulbous heads poking out of the soil, hit them with one of these Malajor's bombs. They'll be so surprised to get a face full of sting, they'll leap out and leave behind my apples. The thief will probably take off running, but let him go. I just want my perfect fruit returned. Besides, Mandragora carcass isn't on the menu tonight. Right then, I'll leave you to your search. Happy hunting. Let's attune to the Aetheryte first. After having seen these huge Aetherites in the place of, you know, where the ancients are, these ones look tiny in comparison. Master Fortuno is the head of Aporia, and it is for his beliefs I continue to labor so. I wonder what these things are. Maybe they're like water tanks as well? Water towers, more like? Careful walking through this area, outsider. Us Skatine are ever watchful of the goings-on here. One wrong move and it could mean your eyes. I jest. Oh dear, did you believe me? Ah yes, I remember you. You with the students of Valdesian, are you not? How can I help you? What do you do here? Who, me? Why, I'm a researcher of Aporia. The hamlet is where I hang my hat, so to speak. It's been my home since I joined in the construction of the Ark many months ago. I've only seen the true sun a handful of times in the past few years, if you can believe that. What kind of place is this? This is Charlian Hamlet, home to those who work in the Central Circuit. A great many of us, if not all of us, are engaged in projects of a highly classified nature. In order to maintain that level of secrecy, none here are allowed to leave Labyrinthos unless you have permission to do so. It has been goodness knows how many years since I last left myself. Considering the importance of my work, however, I'm perfectly content right where I am. Just between the two of us, though, I do miss the ocean, just a little. Where's the last... I went through there, right? So the last quest objective must be here, I think. Oh yeah, there it is. Hello there, Mr. Brock. Partisan. Offering to help, that's very kind, but I should be able to organize the rest of the documents by myself. It's mostly lists of the things we'll need once we arrive on the moon, and then whichever star we choose as our new home. My duties largely concern the maintenance of living conditions, so I'll be a lot busier after we depart. I hear that our lunar collaborators have come down to assist in our efforts. I'm looking forward to finally meeting them in person after having communicated with them in such a limited capacity thus far. To be perfectly honest, I've not even the slightest idea what they look like. I do hope they're not enormous looming giants. Why, I would much prefer something small and fluffy, like that beheaded rabbit that ran by. Yeah, You know what, you'll find out yourself. So they're already here? I haven't seen any of them so far. Oh, it's so far away. Vexed veterinarian. Let the good times stroll. Excuse me, sir. I couldn't help but notice that your youth away about you that simply screams, I have an affinity for creatures of the wilds, and since I'm never wrong about such things, might I trouble you? You see, amongst the troops of trolls living in the outer circuit, I came upon one who was sick beyond measure. I took the poor creature in at once and saw him healed, of course, but when I attempted to return him to his rightful home, he flew into a panic as if he could not bear the thought of going back. To make matters worse, the troll saw it fit to escape into a den of Annales. I'd go after him, but I'm so fumble-footed I'll scare him off like as not, and be torn limb from limb for my pains by the fiends. So I turn to you. Would you seek out this troll of which I spoke? I shall provide you with his favorite food, and with it you should be able to calm the piteous thing. Hopefully that will be enough to see his senses restored, and for him to come hurrying back. And though I shudder to think of it, if any of those fell Annales seek to impede you or pester the troll, make those beasts regret their interference. Oh, and don't worry, you will be rewarded for your efforts. Sure, buddy. Are there only 4 side quests, or are there more back here somewhere? Does look like it's only 4 for the time being. Then again, they could unlock more just because I finished the main quest. Yeah, whatever. Seeing red. Oh my, the ways of Dalek are as mysterious as they are providential. To think a man so robust as you would appear before me in my hour of need. If this is not divine intervention, I know not what is. Robust man, huh? I face a trial for which I am not equal, nor shall I ever be. It involves the capture of my most feared nemesis. Ugh, tomatoes. You see, I can barely speak the vile beast's name without my gorge rising. You would do well to consider my offer truly. I have money set aside, quite a bit of it, in fact. All I need to do is capture one of those vile vegetables. You'll find them near Merial Agronomics, and they're quite hard to miss, disgusting things as they are. Wait, I have to go back up? I don't want to go back up. Oh, they're all here! Wait, where's Puddingway? Oh right, Puddingway's still in Charlian. You know, above, reading about pudding recipes. 'Twould appear the Loperates have infiltrated Charlian's most heavily guarded facility. How, I know not. That tune? How did they come up with that? It so doesn't sound like they make that sound, but in a way it's so cute that it still does. What joy to sample the delights of Aetheris. How marvelous it is to see you again. You'll be pleased to hear that I've learned much since our fascinating discussion at the Caratorium. It's all thanks to Oriange, you see. He's taught me the finer points of cooking, which, despite my name, I knew very little about. So many dishes, so many hard-to-pronounce words. Actually, I was rather hoping he'd show me how to bake an archon loaf. Please don't. They're quite popular, I hear, though it doesn't sound like it contains any flavor to speak of. Still, if that's the sort of thing your kind enjoys, I shall make enough to last the whole journey. Please don't. Growing way. Crikey, I wasn't expecting to see you here. I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to say goodbye, and for, having those other Loperids attack you. Terrible misunderstanding that. Not to worry, though, as all have since recovered from the rather savage beating you administered. They bear you no ill will. Well, perhaps a little, on account of the savagery, but time heals all wounds. Most anyway. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. How am I supposed to do half an Akmorn? What do you want from me? Fancy meeting you here. Our friends in the forum brought us to see their teeny tiny toy boat. Don't be so... Don't look down upon their creations that much. Which was quite impressive considering they didn't use any creation magics. What we're really interested in is Theris itself, though we now find ourselves in a sort of funny, underground, miniaturized version of it. I mean, it will do for the time being. We were hoping the forum would give us a guided tour, but it appears they're rather preoccupied. Honestly, all that time to prepare and they're still not ready. I mean, you started 12,000 years ago. They only had 270, so, in comparison that's quite impressive. I suppose we'll just have to show ourselves around, or at least that's what we were planning to do until we chanced upon Urianger and you good self. Since you're both dawdling about, engaging in idle chit-chat, perhaps you could show us a few points of interest. Won't that be fun? I mean, probably. Wise guides. A tour of Labyrinthos. An unexpected yet prudent suggestion. Given the similarities betwixt this artificial environment and Bestway's burrow, it would be in our best interest to have the Loperids acquaint themselves with those conditions deemed optimal by their Charlian collaborators. I fear, however, their continued reliance upon my limited knowledge would risk narrowing rather than broadening their perspectives, and they have, though, are better suited to lead this venture. What a marvelous idea! Might we begin with that great big what's-it over yonder? Ah yes, the what's-it. I shall leave its explanation to him. What? What are you... What? What are you talking about? Alright. Back to Paladin we go. To do these side quests. There is one more. I was wondering about that. So let's turn off the main quest for a bit. Right. Get this one as well. Elemental reactor operator. Excuse me, but can I trouble you for a moment? I'm looking for someone, you see, and I was hoping you might help. I was due to receive a pair of beasts captured in I can never pronounce that. St. Mosian's Arboretum. But the cleaner who's meant to make the delivery has yet to appear, and I've grown rather tired of waiting. I tried reaching him via link pearl, but to no avail. I'm tempted to go out and search for him myself, but what if he arrives and I'm not here? So, would you be willing to find said gleaner for me? Thank you. He ought to be relatively easy to spot, I should think, considering he's traveling with 2 mud-colored seedkin. Search west of here first. I'll check around here just to make sure he's not rounding the corner or some such. Should you find him before I do, hurry back here, will you? Okay. Wait, does this... Does this area actually continue? I think it does, doesn't it? Should be. Interesting creatures. Yeah, that's the one that you could see from up above, I think. Right? And I'm still missing two. I think one is all the way to the south. Yeah, and as I suspected, the next one's to the west. Is that a mob or is that an A rank? That looks interesting. Wait, I should probably start with this one. The cleanup. What happened to you? Thank goodness you're here. Prapaza caught me by surprise, gave me a nasty shock. What are you doing all the way out here? Of course, I suppose all this waiting could make anyone rather nervous. I'll give my apologies to the operator when I deliver these specimens. As for the specimens themselves, well, let's just say I'm rather surprised they're still in one piece, despite them being bathed in lightning. The Earth alignment probably saved them, come to think of it. He seems very happy. At any rate, thank you, kind stranger. Doubt I'd still be among the living, if not for your aid. Right then, I had better get going. I don't want to keep the operator waiting any longer than he already has. Wait, what is that quest over there, though? Peculiar vegetable. The quizzical queen up and flees in a flustered state, leaving behind apples. It would appear that this snappish mandragora was behind the fruit napping. Ooh, great. Found the right one the first time around. These are actually oversized apples, yeah. They are quite a bit bigger than normal ones. Can I go over there, or is it somewhere else? Can you actually go in a circle around this place? Not that much further. Just to come beta. Right, this is the exact opposite side from where we came, right? I think. Must be. That's where we came from. Does look pretty far away, doesn't it? Quite impressive. And northwest. Should be in this zone, I think. Or is there somebody dead? Oh, they're already helping, right? That'll be fine. I think there's another bomb. Looking like that. Oh, there's the... Wait, what is that thing called? Ew. Is that B-ring lich? Why is the B-rank called Ew? What is that name? What the hell? Sure. Of course. Makes sense, right? Key, last one. 700 to the south, holy hell. And this is still quite a large area. Don't hit me. Thank you. What was I meant to do here? Is that the tomato here? Or is it something else? Of course. I don't want to hit you, I want to use the key item on you. Thank you very much. Can I go around to the circle, or is this the sort of the last place you can go to? Why is that so far to the south? I think you can actually go in a circle, right? I mean, you should be able to, obviously. Yeah. Wait, there's another ether right here? Ooh. So this is probably going to be the last quest up then. Yeah, this very much feels like the entrance to the spaceship, doesn't it? Southeast. Alright. Should also be the last one then. These areas are quite vast. Not so much further. It's not... Isn't there the... Wait. Isn't this where I started, though? Oh, there it is. I thought it was. Or am I getting this wrong? Or maybe not exactly here. Maybe two, like, zones over? It does look very similar while you're down here. Alright, this should have been in the last one, right? Nice. Yes. Now I only need the quest ones. I thought this was... Apparently... Oh, it's Gamma. Well, holy fuck. So that's where I came from then. Holy shit. Alright, yeah, so that's where I came from. And then when I was there, I actually thought I was on the opposite side, but I clearly wasn't. This area is freaking massive. And then that's actually the south side of this whole thing. Which is sort of the entrance to, well, whatever there is. Well, I mean, at least this way I've already discovered all of these locations, right? Right, now we're on the opposite side of this thing. This is where the quest led us. Alright, cool. Cockle's Forge. Bum 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 bum. Where are these quest objectives though? So I think they're actually both up there again? Or is one of them literally next here? Sometimes it's hard to tell. No, see, one of them is here. Though, wait, is there a... Yes, there's a door there. The other one is up there. God, this area is massive. Holy hell. And it's also just the way they've built it, right? With it, like, being round like that. Poor troll. Always the poor trolls that are getting attacked. Grrr. There. I think he's alright. Why do I have to go back up for one quest? Seriously? Well, I mean, I guess I could use the ether right to teleport back down. Yes. Hope it's not too far away. Well, definitely isn't exactly close either. But it looks like the perspective is so cool, right? If you look at it from above. I mean, it is really a vast area, right? That you can run all the way around in. Still, it's quite incredible actually being down there. Just sort of, I don't know. Again, they've done some really cool things with perspective here, where they sort of not really subvert your expectations, but it's definitely like you look at it from above, and then suddenly, you know, it does look vast from above as well, but at the same time, you know, it also has, like, you think it's, You know, you think it's actually not that big. Wait. Oh, this one. Right? It does look a bit like, you know, again, it does look rather big, but not as big as it looks from when you're actually there. So, I don't know, it's a bit hard to explain. Looks smaller from, like, in a way it looks smaller from above, but then also not. But again, somehow the way they've done the perspective is just really cool. Well, were you able to capture one of those terrible tomatoes? Indeed I was. Eh? Pardon me, even this sack cannot stomach the wretches, but better in than out, I suppose. At least it won't get its disastrously painful juices into anyone's eyes. You must be curious as to why tomatoes maddened into violence were running amok. Well, the truth is, Sokolina had sowed congeries of vegetable seeds to cultivate on the plantation, and a few of these vermin managed to slip in unnoticed. The soil was exceptionally fertile by the looks of it because the creatures proliferated with an alarming ease, more so than anyone could have possibly guessed. As to provide this tale with an even stranger twist, the juices they squirted into my eyes had a salubrious effect. I no longer have need of my glasses. I can see with perfect clarity now, though I was in a great deal of pain, mind you. Okay, interesting. Well, when life gives you tomatoes, make eye juice? No, that hasn't a very pretty ring to it at all. At any rate, your services have been most helpful. I will begin my research as soon as I am back in the laboratory. Ah, before I forget, your reward. Cool. Those are some pretty strange tomatoes indeed, if they can heal your eyesight, even though it apparently causes great pain as well. There you are. I was wondering when I would see you again. The cleaner told me everything that happened, how you got him out of a tight spot. He seems to have escaped largely unscathed, but the chirurgeons are giving him a thorough inspection just in case. You may not know this, but there are actually a variety of corpuscula, only these happen to be smeared in a unique type of mud originating from the arboretum. Judging by the look on your face, you already know this species, don't you? Yes, something tells me you're already quite intimate with the arboretum. Isn't it just a wonderful place? Yeah, of course it is. I mean, it's actually quite an interesting dungeon, both versions of it. You must be wondering why I required these muddy little things. Well, I have a theory that the Earth alignment might prove to be of use in the amplification of said element. I had not expected such an unfortunate accident would come of my curiosity, though. Well, we're none of us the worse for wear, so perhaps not that unfortunate. The Gleaner's still alive and kicking, and the samples made it safely here. All thanks to you, of course. So, all's well that ends well, yes? I guess so. Oh, the troll's actually here. I was wondering where he ran off to. Grr. Look, he's returned. I can't thank you enough. I know they may not look it, but trolls are really quite intelligent. Indeed, they are an intrinsic part of the woodlands of Labyrinthos and keep it healthy and thriving. Though we've a responsibility to put down the more violent and unruly ones, most trolls, such as this one, are kind, docile things. In fact, my friend here has a real chance of becoming leader of his tribe, perhaps even guardian of the forest someday. It is we who saw these creatures removed from their natural habitats and relocated them within Labyrinthos. Thus, we've a responsibility to watch over them to ensure they are well, and it would be too cruel to dispose of one simply because they're under the weather. Ah, yes, your reward. Here, as you promised. Now then, not as I promised, as promised. Now then, it's high time I saw this fellow return to the outer circuit. Farewell, adventurer. Well, that's one. I suspect there's going to be 2 more quest hubs here. It did look like it. Oh, there you are. I've come up empty-handed, sad as that is to admit. How did you fare? Were you able to recover the apples? Indeed I was. There's even 5 of them. You were? Oh my, I can't thank you enough. Goodness me. Now that I've had a proper look at them, they're rather enormous, aren't they? Funny how I didn't see that before. The Barinthus, as you've surely noticed, is entirely man-made, and our continued prosperity is thanks in part to the elemental reactor and the false sun. Though, if truth be told, those 2 things are likely to blame for our oversized fruit. Whereas there's research afoot to see if the above-ground orchards could produce something of a similar size as well. Given what little we know, though, I'm sure that day is quite a long way off. Oh, begging your pardon, here I am talking your ear off when I'm sure you've better things to be getting on with. Heavens no, I certainly do. Apple pies don't bake themselves, now do they? Thank you again for your help. You can make, like, literally 30 or 40 apple pies with those 5 apples. Alright. Put this here, and this belongs... I have so many useless things to eat. It's incredible. I mean, technically you could probably use them while you're leveling. But considering that I've also still got 26 pizzas, I don't know. Why, not a scratch on you? I take this to mean my serum did its job then. Well, I would have defeated it without it anyway. I didn't bother you. Most certainly did. Right, he should have a nice landing accent as well. Is that so? Goodness, my genius is rather startling, isn't it? That was a tincture most hastily thrown together. Nary a thought was put into it. At any rate, I thank you for services rendered. Here for your troubles. Well then, I must return to my pondering. These theories of mine won't hypothesize themselves. Back to the main quest. Where is it anyways? Up here, huh? Where's the structure exactly? For a moment I thought that tree was tilted. Maybe it just looked weird. These places are also massive, holy shit! I mean, look at this plaza in front of it. There's so much space left here. What is Singing Way doing? This is all very intriguing, I'm sure, but where are the food preparation stations? What was your word for it? Kitchens? That reminds me, Pudding Way, our newly appointed chief of pudding research, a discipline he himself founded after sampling Orionge's delights, has gone in search of Itharius' ultimate sweet treat. Well, provided it's a pudding, as that's all he ever talks about these days. Have you seen him? Indeed I have. What is Singing Way doing? Considering Singing Way and Growing Way specialities, I expect them to pay full attention to your explanations, which I'm sure you will be most informative. My word, what magnificent architecture, such immaculate curvature. I'll have to make several adjustments to my work if I'm to match this degree of craftsmanship. I shall leave no corner unrounded. You don't need to build round corners everywhere. It does help sometimes, though. The Loperits' technical expertise doth far outstrip our own. We would be wise to allow them to form their own conclusions as to the function of the various apparatus, rather than offer uninformed suppositions of our own. Unless, that is, unbeknownst to me, thou art possessed of surpassing knowledge concerning the construction and operation of advanced Charlian... what's-its? What are you doing? Why are you making your weird sounds? Goodness me, to build something so large without creation magics is positively stupendous. Perhaps you could direct our attention to its most important features. Okay. Sure. The mushroom-like thing, the tanks, the metallic tube. Those are the tanks. That's a little hard to see from here, but is that golden pipe connected to the top of those tanks? I can see through that window another pipe at the bottom. Ah, this must be for purifying water drawn up from below. Okay. What? Adventurous Ambystoma? Where did you come from, little fellow? You spotted an Ambystoma, an especially lively one at that. It would appear that the concept you observed in another time, another place, was approved for life in the wider world. Somehow. Weird how that goes, huh? Metallic tube. Is that water I hear from inside that great big tube? Must be because of those cogs and that gigantic wheel at the top. Oh, I see. That's how they draw up the water. There's probably some sort of spiral-shaped mechanism inside it too. And what's the mushroom-like thing? Is it supposed to be this one? Oh, this one. Mushroom-like thing. I wouldn't call that a mushroom, but alright. That looks like the trees in Greatest Ends Vale. I always want to say Enslave. It's Ends Vale. Hold on, that's a bit of a strange shape. It's thin at the bottom, but big and round at the top. Quite tall for something so unbalanced too. Now it makes sense, that's where they store the water. Well, if I were to hazard a guess, water drawn from underground, presumably with some other mechanism, is purified here and stored in a tower before being distributed elsewhere. I'm right, aren't I? I knew it. A design brilliant in its simplicity. I dare say it would take only a moment to install in even the harshest of environments. First Loperites, that is. Indeed, securing a reliable source of water is of the utmost importance for any fledgling settlement. We have read, however, that peoples of Etheirys sometimes make their homes in arid deserts and such. How are they able to survive? Many settlements in Thanalan are built near an oasis. So, wherever you choose to live, you're never far from water. Oh dear, I worry we won't be able to procure the necessary amount. We can provide enough water to keep them from drying out completely, but it would appear they rely on it far more than we'd anticipated. A few adjustments may be in order once we've calculated the average rate of consumption per individual. It may also be worth learning more about how exactly they obtain their water in the first place. Master Alphino spoke of the machinery responsible for that feat during our journey through Logisticum Alpha, did he not? Mayhap the Loperites will share his appreciation for the engineering marvel. Oh yes, that sounds absolutely splendid. We must journey beyond the sanctuary of Charlie and Hamlet. I shall lead the way. You mean we'll have to brave the untamed wilderness? A valid concern indeed. We could not help but notice the many dangerous-looking creatures with big, nasty teeth lurking beyond the safe confines of the settlement. Were we not escorted here by burly custodians, I dread to think what would become of us. Regrettably, to many a hungry predator with the aforementioned big, nasty teeth, leopards may appear to be a potential and rather appetizing source of sustenance. Might I impose upon thee to assist in securing safe passage to Logisticon Alpha? For my part, I shall act as escort to Living Way and Cooking Way, and Trusting Way and Growing Way to thy care. Sure. A more valiant protector they could not wish for. Godspeed. If it's all the same to you, I'd rather not be eaten by some horrid beast. Come along, Growing Way, to the water extraction, what's it? Back with the epic music. It's not that far, is it? I mean, it looks like they ventured almost all the way without me, so... Or maybe they didn't. I have a feeling the way forward is not as clear as we'd like. Could you go and take a look? Perhaps you could tell the local beasties we're not nearly as delicious as we might appear. Let me try that. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. I really hope this water extraction is worth these harrowing experiences. All part of the fun, some might say, but I'd rather not be burned to a crisp if it's all the same to you. Well, I can understand that. You've done well to see those two here safely. They can be a bit skittish at the best of times, so I'm pleasantly surprised they didn't run off and get themselves killed. My friends, I bid you welcome to Logisticon Alpha. Our destination doth lie at the lift's top. Pray follow me. I wonder what will show them. On this occasion, it would behoove us to seek the counsel of those qualified to describe the workings of their apparatus. They may also be in possession of schematics or other useful documentation should the Loporeds request them. As the forum's esteemed guests, 'tis unlikely that they would be refused, that thou knowest as well as I the changeable dispositions of Sharlayan bureaucrats. Forgive me for asking, but are we any closer to the kitchens? Come to think of it, why am I even here? Atmospheric manipulators are hardly my area of expertise. I mean, maybe you could I don't know, look at how vegetables grow or something. That's quite important for cooking. That was terrifying, but at least the scenery was more pleasant than was named Garlemald. As a first impression of Aetherius, it was far from favorable. Anyway, onwards and upwards, quite literally, as is the case here. As I understand, places like Labyrinthos are the exception rather than the rule. You don't all build enormous underground living spaces like this, surely? No, we don't. Marvelous, simply marvelous. So this is where the magic, or science rather, takes place. The perfect environment to sustain life artificially created. The knowledge we'll gain here will be essential when we start looking for new stars for your kind to inhabit. Apparently most of them don't even have air for you to breathe. You're all very lucky that Aetherius just so happens to provide everything you need to thrive. Or did mankind turn out the way they are because of the available resources, I wonder? Either way, it's nothing short of miraculous. I cannot wait to see more of it. Agriculture shock. This is all very wonderful, I'm sure, but I was rather hoping to learn more about your nourishment provision facilities. In other words, where's the food? I believe both the knowledge and consumables you seek may be found at Mariel Agronomics. As I imagine, Singingway and the others intend to study every conceivable facet of this apparatus, wouldst thou be so kind as to escort our visiting culinarian? Yes, that sounds much more interesting. Hopefully I'll be able to see firsthand some of the delicacies Orionji was telling me about. Even as incredibly vivid, if a bit too verbose descriptions cannot compare to sampling them myself, not to mention Aetherius will soon be no more, so I must learn all I can while there is still time. Let us brook no further delay. It would appear I have inadvertently taken upon myself the more demanding duty, entertaining 3 inquisitive lopperids to thy 1. Yet be that as it may, 'twill be my pleasure to impart what little knowledge I possess to our would-be saviors. But I do think this place is quite the good area to be logging out. I've been streaming for 14 hours. I know I took a couple breaks, but I've still been playing for probably 13. I kind of wanted to go a bit further today. But then again, there was just much to discover. A lot of cutscenes. With this progress that I've made today, I'm not quite sure that I'll be able to finish tomorrow. Which is what I told my raid team, that it would probably be available from Tuesday onwards for the extreme trials and stuff, but I mean, I don't really, it's not a big deal, obviously. See, I'm really getting tired. Although I've been tired the entire day. In a way, not all the time, obviously. Definitely not during the most thrilling cutscenes. I mean, I do have come quite a lot farther, obviously, and we've seen a brilliant and mind-blowing cutscene to end Elpis, and now we're helping building a better spaceship. And also telling the Lopperids about how we're actually living down here in Labyrinthos. So yeah. I think it's quite a lot. It was a really, really fun stream. And I guess I'll continue right here tomorrow. Let's actually sit down on this bench. Like this. The carbuncle is showing its butt. But yeah. So far so good. It's just mind-blowing. I wonder where it goes next. I'm really looking forward to what will happen. Again, I think that I said something about, you know, I'm sort of expecting us to, when we are finished here with helping them prepare the spaceships and the spaceship, it's only one, right? And doing whatever we can to help them. I suspect we're going to try to communicate with Heidelin, because there's still that crystal dungeon that we haven't seen so far, so I suspect there's going to be like a different access point here in Labyrinthos to the Ethereal Sea, right? And it's also going to be quite interesting, I think, to actually hear more about that, because I'm still wondering, you know, if the Ethereal Sea really is some sort of core for the planet, isn't that sort of an abundance of ether? Why couldn't we use that to shield ourselves from Meteion? But then again, we'll see. But I suspect that that's sort of where this area ends with the level 89 dungeon. And then I have absolutely no freaking clue what the last area is going to be. There are so many possibilities for that. Either it's literally going to be like a distant star, maybe could be where Meteion is. I don't know if that could... I mean, presumably Meteion is just somewhere out in space. I mean, it could be like somewhere, right? I mean, how do you say that? It's could be literally just in a dark vacuum. I mean, I don't suppose that she necessarily needs air to breathe, especially if Dynamis is, you know, exists in most of the universe anyway. And then I don't know, you know, how many actually interesting things there would be to discover. But then again, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that the last area is going to be the Ethereal Sea, because I suspect that's the dungeon. And then maybe at the end of the dungeon also the trial, the next one. Which... I don't know. Considering it's the Ethereal Sea, right? It's... I don't know what that would be, to be honest. Yeah. Let's not speculate further. The music's still really hype. I think that's it for today. Thank you so much if you have been watching. It was a great stream. Although I know that I took a couple more breaks. I was a bit tired today, unfortunately, because of work, probably. I hope I'll be a bit more fit tomorrow. But then again, you know, as soon as we're going full steam ahead through or towards the end of this expansion, I'd imagine that that's going to be quite the interesting journey. And then, yeah. Let's see how it goes, shall we? As for this is it. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a good night wherever you are. And I'll see you tomorrow morning for me, or, you know, I mean, it's in, what, probably 10 hours, something like that. See you then. Bye-bye!